asked to speak to you about what belonging to Westminster means to me, I had a million ideas running through my head. It was actually difficult to narrow this down to only 3 quick minutes. As I moved back to Greenville, I knew I was ready to find my church home. I'd been to Westminster numerous times throughout college with my roommate, Becca. My only worry was, how am I going to fit into a church this large? Being a single woman, it's a little intimidating entering this large sanctuary, only knowing one family. Becca quickly introduced me to the women of Westminster, also known as the Presbyterian women. I remembered my mom being very active with the women of a church in our hometown, but I always assumed it was for retired moms and not someone single in their 30s. I attended my first few luncheons and loved it. Throughout this group, I met some of my lifelong friends. At the first women's retreat we attended at Bon Clarkin, I was invited to play board games with a group of women on our hall. I knew no one in the entire group and was, quite frankly, a little intimidated to go into that room. I love board games, so I thought, how bad could this be? I felt like I was back in middle school again. We laughed, we acted completely silly, and played board games into the night. I thought at the time I was the only newbie in this group of women, but it turns out none of them knew each other very well. We had so much fun that night, we decided to get together again once we were back in Greenville, and thus began the Birthday Club. Our little group of 9 gets together once every 2 to 3 months to celebrate each other's birthdays, happenings in our families' lives, and we're always a quick phone call away when each of us needs anything. This past year has been one with a great deal of change for me. I had some health issues last fall, and this church family truly came to my rescue. I had more food than I could eat, and a line of friends from church showing up multiple times a day just to walk my dogs. This past February, I lost my mother to Alzheimer's. Not a single day went by without a phone call, a card, a text, or a visit from someone here in the church family. One of my friends I met through Westminster even kept my dogs for 2 weeks at a time so that I could spend those days with my mom in the hospital. I don't know how I would have gotten through all of that without this church family. And I will never forget the kindness, and I really hope I can do that for one of you one day. Taking that first step into the women's luncheon has changed my life. I'm not only active with the women of Westminster, but through this group, I learned there was a need for additional Sunday school teachers. And now I'm one of those teachers. I truly believe I found my calling here, and I adore teaching the little ones. It's something I would have never considered doing, and I'm so glad that God had his hand in it. What I didn't realize when I joined Westminster is that with a church this large comes so many opportunities for each of you. Regardless of your age, whether you're single, married, have children or not, you can find your place at Westminster where you belong. Whether it's joining an adult basketball league, a reading club, hiking group, becoming active in the children's mission, or volunteering with youth group and mission work. Start today, make that step, and sign up to attend November 9th next Sunday. Or go ahead and sign up now for the women's retreat in February. I can promise you, everyone has a place here at Westminster, and we'd love to help you find yours.